Hello, welcome to Cultivating Joy Masterclass. I am Natasha Rose. I am a energy healer, holistic counsellor, aromatherapist and feminine embodiment coach. And I wanted to do this masterclass now because with everything that's happening with the world right now, I feel like so many people are trying to find their joy in amongst all the chaos that's going on. So let's get started. What are we going to cover today? Why we lack joy and pleasure in society, why we need joy, reprogram and cultivate joy, yes, what is embodiment and why, and then we're going to do a joy cultivation embodiment exercise. Ooh, so exciting. I just got goosebumps. So why do we lack joy and pleasure in society? Generational trauma and programming. When our grandparents and great-grandparents and stuff went through the Great Depression, with our parents, some of our parents have gone through really hard times and they haven't expressed joy, so we haven't learnt what joy feels like in our bodies. The work hard to retire attitude. Again, it's kind of generational, but it is societal that we work really, really hard to then retire, and then we'll be joyful. Then we can do what makes us happy. But until then, we have to work really hard. People please joyous. People that are joyous are seen as crazy. When people are like, yes, oh, I'm so excited, I'm so joyful, I'm so happy. People are like, what is that person on? Why is she so happy? And it can make people feel uncomfortable. Joy is a circumstantial energy. It's not something that we just inhabit. We really don't inhabit emotions. When we are in like a kind of mood, it's probably our happy. That's like our middle happy. We don't feel joy all the time. We don't feel sad all the time. We can feel sad all the time, but generally speaking, in somebody who's relatively healthy and mentally stable, we don't feel sad all the time. We don't feel angry all the time. So we don't feel joy all the time. It is circumstantial. But if we wait around for something to happen that will give us joy, we could be waiting forever. We need to make it happen. We need to choose things that bring joy into our lives, whether or not that's from your decor, to the clothes you wear, to the job you do, to the people you spend time with. We need to make that joy happen, or it doesn't. And the last point that I really wanted to talk about as well is that we are not in our sovereignty to own what we want. So many of us are scared to take that responsibility, to step into our sovereignty, to acknowledge that we control how we feel. We control what happens in our lives. We control how we respond to life. We can let life happen at us. We can decide to have a really crappy job we don't like. We can choose to dwell in a not so great emotion. It is in the sovereignty of our bodies, of our soul, our spirit, that we don't hold on to, and we don't have that in us to go after what we want. We want to feel joyous, then we go for it if we're in our sovereignty. If we want to change our job, we go for it because we are in our sovereignty. This is a huge thing. So many of us are not in that place where we take that responsibility for everything in our life. We put the blame on other people, generational parents, generational grandparents, circumstantial job, circumstantial bullied at school. We carry all that, but we don't have to. It's in our own sovereignty to let all that go and choose what we want. A job that brings us joy, relationship that brings us joy, friendships that bring us joy, decor that brings us joy. If you get where I'm going with that, we get to choose joy. So why do we need joy? Obviously for health, physical, emotional, mental. We need to have joy. Otherwise, if we don't, we lack a drive for life. We lack a passion. We lack just the pure happiness to be alive and to be living. So we need joy to design a life that we desire and we love. It's like our compass. You can use it as a compass. It can tell us, oh yep, I should be doing that job. Oh yep, I should be in that relationship. It is our inner compass. It is our way to live with passion and pleasure. It is so that we can have energy for others. If we are not enjoying an activity, a situation, we do not have the energy to output to that. So we need to be cultivating a way that we can have that joy so that we have the energy to put into other people, our jobs, we can output. And it is, we need joy to have a radiating heart outwards. When people are joyful, they are magnetic. They bring the world to them. They bring what they desire and what they're passionate about to them. They bring the relationships that bring them joy and the moments that bring them joy because they are radiating joy from out. And then they bring it in. It's kind of like a give and receive. Give and receive. So, cultivating joy. In order to be joyful, as I said, we need to create it. We need to create it within, and then we also need to create moments that is like outside of us. As I said, circumstantial. So making sure our circumstances and our environment is cultivating joy within. We need to reprogram our energy and nervous system. Why? That sounds a bit odd, because when we're not used to joy and feeling joy, that can be a huge emotion to hold in our body. And if you have done the integrating, healing and embodiment masterclass, you will know that emotion is energy in motion. And so when we are not in a good energy state, and when we are not in a strong nervous system, that joy can feel huge and really overwhelming to hold. Joy can come across as sometimes an anxious feeling. Like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so happy, I'm so excited. But that can come across as, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, I'm so anxious, so switching that, reprogramming what we are programmed to hold within our body and our energy field and our nervous system. We need to heal our inner child so that we can trust. We can trust that joy is good. We can trust that joy will come when we cultivate it. It's always going to be there, somewhere. We just have to cultivate it. And our inner child, as we grow up, we're told, you must focus at school, you must do a good job, you must go out and work, you must be serious. Don't be silly and go doing cartwheels because it brings you joy. Adults don't do that. Don't go doing hula hooping, don't dance. Anything to do with joy, it's like, squashed. So we need to reconnect with our inner child who loves to have joy. If you watch a child, they don't worry about whether or not they look silly. They don't worry about whether or not it's okay to be joyful. They just are. And that's because they have trust. They have trust in their bodies, that their body and their energy field is capable and strong enough to hold joy. And they have trust that joy is contagious. Joy is magnetic. It's not something to be scared of. It's not something to feel embarrassed by. It is contagious and magnetic. And children know that. So connecting with our inner child and healing our inner child, and then coming from that childlike state of new beginnings, new experiences, experiencing from that inner child lens. To cultivate joy, we also need to reconnect with our body. Again, if you did the healing and integrating healing and embodiment masterclass, I would have spoken about we are up in the head all the time. We are not in the body. Society does not live in the body. We have chopped ourselves off here and we live from here up. And guess what? The head doesn't create joy. We can think about it. We can think about joy, but it doesn't create it. We need to connect the head to the body so that the pathways of energy, the neural pathways, are connected, and that way we can bring joy into the body. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it sound like? You know, like, ooh. You can't have joy in the head. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. So we need to reconnect with our body. So what is embodiment? Again, if you've done my other masterclass about embodiment, you will know, or you will have an idea. But embodiment is about being in the body, like I said just before. It's about embodying energy. So the energy of joy, what does the energy of joy feel like? Embodying archetypes. Maybe you can think of somebody who is joyful in your life and you could use them as an archetype. Maybe you could think of an archetype that is joyful. Maybe it's a comedian. Use them as an archetype. It is about releasing what no longer serves us, but it's also about manifesting what we desire. And right now we desire to feel joy. So it's manifesting that inside our bodies. So why embodiment? To get out of the head and into the body. I know I keep repeating myself, but that is it. To get out of the head and into the body. To get out of the awareness of outside of us and into the body. Into our physical vessel. It is to learn to trust our intuitive bodies. Our bodies know what to do, our bodies know what to feel, so it's about trusting that, allowing that to flow. As I said, emotion is energy in motion. Through embodiment, we fully release. We release everything. We release stuff we don't want to hold on to. We also release positivity. So when we're feeling joyful in our bodies, we release that into the world. And we become magnetic for things that bring us joy. Our expression of bodies from the inside out. So I really embodied joy before I got onto this masterclass, and you would notice I'm quite joyful and I'm expressive because I just want to do this because I feel joyful. It's expressing what we feel inside out. So let's cultivate joy right now. So I want you to find somewhere that you feel comfortable to sit. Closing down the eyes. We close down the eyes to block out anything that's happening around, to block out any distractions so we can turn into and drop into the body. We're going to take a breath. Allowing us to connect with our breath. Noticing what the breath feels like naturally. And then we're going to bring our awareness to our heart. Our heart is where we hold our joy. And with every breath in, I want you to feel the joy filling up your heart. Every breath you take in, you're breathing in a golden, bubbly, joyful stream into your heart. And we're going to fill the heart right up. Keep filling that heart space with joy. You might feel a little bit fluttery, allowing the flutters to go into your heart space. Allowing the joy and excitement to rise through the body, through into the heart. And once the heart space is full, we're going to let that joy drip through the body. You might start slowly so that you feel comfortable, so your body feels safe to let that joy drip through. And it's slowly going to start streaming faster, flowing. It's flowing right down through your body, through your torso, into your pelvic bowl, filling your pelvic bowl with joy. The beautiful yellow liquid just beautifully, joyfully bubbling through you, almost like a lemonade. Bubble, 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 bubble. Ooh, yeah, the bubbling, the joy. And it's going to go through your whole body, bubbling, fizzing through your body, through your legs, your knees, your feet, and back up, through your body, through your arms, through your fingers. Yes. And now you're feeling so joyful. Maybe you want to move. How does that make you feel? How does that make you want to move? Maybe you want to get up from where you're sitting and you want to move your feet as well. How do you move when you feel joyful? It's running through you. You might get goosebumps. You might feel electric shocks going through you. Yes, just embody that fizzing, that bubbling through your body. Bubbling is going through every cell, reprogramming your nervous system, reprogramming the pathways. Your brain is agreeing that you are feeling joyful right now. You're feeling so happy and so bubbly and electric. Maybe you want to make sounds like I've been doing. The embodiment is all about the sounds, the feel, the movement. You might want to giggle. You might be giggling already. You might want to make some sounds like whatever feels joyful to you. Now I want you to imagine that joy is starting to radiate from you. You're radiating into the space outside of you. You are exuding joy. It is just overflowing from you out into the world, radiating from your back, radiating from the back of your chest, your heart space, radiating out, glowing. You are glowing, glowing, bright like the sun. No need to diminish, no need to hide. You can shine as bright as the sun, touching everybody within your field, sharing your joy, your energy. Now I want you to come back to center, allowing yourself to still be radiating. And I want you to imagine how you would feel going out into the world right now. Maybe it's your future self after you've done a few joyful cultivation practices. How do you feel in your future self? How do you act? How do you hold yourself? Maybe your shoulders are back. Maybe your head is poised higher. Maybe your chest is like open to receive. You are ready to receive. You are ready to be open to people, to relationships, to experiences, to opportunities, to the world, to nature. You're ready. How do you feel with joy radiating through your body, pulsating, bubbling, electric? Now I want you to take a moment. You are that joyful, radiating, electric person. Right now, in this very moment, you are embodying joy. You are joy. Joy is pulsing through every cell of your being. Allow that to wash through you. The realization that you can have joy anytime you need, just by embodying it first, just by choosing it. If you don't feel that it's quite there just yet, don't hold judgment on yourself. Don't be hard. Come back and do this exercise again and again and again until you feel it. As I said, we're reprogramming, retraining our nervous system, our energy field, and our brain to hold joy, to embody joy, to be joy. And when you're ready, coming back to opening your eyes gently. So I hope you enjoyed that embodiment of joy. I hope that it brought you a little bit of joy right now in this very moment. And I really hope that you can now, moving forward, start to embody more joy, whether or not that is circumstantial, changing your situation, changing your environment, changing your job, your relationships, whatever that is, cultivating it through the environment. And I hope now you can also go in to your body and bring joy out. Bring your joy, your sunshine, and radiate it out into the world. I thank you so much for being here, and if you aren't already, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also become a member of the Cosmic Feminine Connection, which is a free membership group, and that is on Facebook, or there is an app that you can also download. I thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you go out into the world right now and radiate your joy through every cell of your being. Sending you so much love. Bye bye.